I went out pretty early this morning for the first round of leaf bags. I'm realizing at this point in my life, collecting leaf bags hits a similar note to what it felt like being a little kid with Christmas and getting up before dawn to get the presents. I like this better, actually. What we're doing this year is taking these large leaves. We have enough carbon in the chicken yard right now and we're backlogged on moving compost out. So I'm going to shred these leaves with an electric mower and use them directly as mulch in the garden. I thought I would share that experiment with folks. As it is, most of these leaves were raked up and put in the bags. They're lovely in that way for doing big scale mulching projects, but to get around perennials and to keep them from flying away, shredding them can sometimes be pretty useful. If they were really wet or it was lots of rain coming, I probably would just dump them as they are, but since they're dry, they're going to blow around a lot. So what I'm going to do is actually use our driveway as the foundation for this. It also gives me a quick chance to look inside the bag. Is there like Halloween candy wrappers or old batteries? Those are two very specific examples we found in the past. Sasha uses these bags for shipping, so we're going to store these in the sun in a dry spot. And we'll shred some leaves. I'm going to try it first with the bag on the back so that I can collect directly into the bag and then walk it over to gardens and mulch. We'll see how that goes. If the leaves are dry, these sorts of mowers do a nice job of shredding things down just a bit, which is pretty darn helpful to get them to lay down flat in the garden, especially if it's really windy and dry. This is a black currant bush. They really love deep mulches. They mulch with their own leaves, but we can add some shredded leaves. And because it's dry, they're able to fall through, and we just tap it or even just let the wind settle them in. As those break down, the plants can root right into those degrading leaves. I noticed that the leaves that were shredded but didn't get into the bag seem to get shredded over and over again. I might actually trial a little bit without the bag at first and see what that does. That's a really nice material for putting around perennials. This profusion sorrel would not mind a side dressing of leaves. The really nice thing, it does a number of things at once. It's a mulch, so it's retaining water in the soil. It's loose and airy, so it helps insulate the soil and keeps the plants more comfortable during the cold of winter. And it's a free choice, mineral-rich, nutrient-rich food stuff for earthworms throughout the whole winter. And because it'll be more buffered and more moist right under the leaves, it'll invite the worms more up to the surface. So I could almost use the bag, depending on the level of detail I'm going for, to just bounce it out. And it'll knock the weeds back too. I can just dump it over other plants that we don't want to see grow here. But that's a really nice mulch, completely free. And folks in the community put them in bags, so it's easy for us to grab them. It'd be fun to hear from folks. What are you doing with leaf bags this fall? I know all across this country and other places, folks are still bagging up leaves and putting them on the side of the road for people like us to scoop up and play with and integrate into our landscapes, feed our soils. How are you shredding them? How are you working with them? Are you doing any compost heating projects? Share some notes below. Let's enjoy leaf bag season to the fullest together. Here's one other technique for shredding leaves. We'll have to see how this works. So George, Lenny. rip everything up except leaves, huh?
They're scared. They'll get to it eventually.